Hi everybody, and welcome to Hamworld Online. My name is Santiago, Hotel India 8 Oscar and Kilo Bravo 8 Sierra Mike. If you use Log4OM as your logger, or are looking at Log4OM as your logging program, and you do digital modes, FT8, FT4, today I'm going to show you how to use Log4OM, WSJT-X, Gridtracker and JTAlert all at the same time to make your operations much better. And we're going to do it right after this. Hi guys, welcome back. Like I say, I'm going to show you today how to make Log4OM, WSJT-X, Gridtracker and JTAlert all working together at the same time using a multicast IP address. And it's kind of easy. It's just follow a few steps and you'll be on your way. If this is the first time in this channel, please click subscribe at the bottom and click on the little bell so you can get notifications whenever new videos are up. Thank you very much, and if you have any comments, you can leave it in the comment sections below. And if you like this video, make sure to hit the like button. As you know, Log4OM is developed by Daniel, India Whiskey 3 Hotel Mike Hotel. It's a very complete logger solution. It has many capabilities. It is free, and now it's running on version 2, which is a huge makeover from version 1. WSJTX is developed by K1JT, Joe Taylor. It needs no introductions. It is widely used by many hams. It can do weak signal modes like FT8, FT4, JT65, JT9, and so on and so on. On the other hand, Gridtracker is a great companion for WSJTX, developed by TAG, November 0 Tango Tango Lima. It has a lot to offer. Let me know in the comments below if you have any question about Gridtracker, or if you want to see anything regarding Gridtracker as well. And at last but not least, JTAlert by Lori with Victor K3 Alpha Mike Alpha. It is a great application used to chase new QSO, work before station, grids, and everything else. So let's get right on to it. Okay, first let's look at the configuration for WSJTX. You can see it open here in my window. You can see I'm monitoring 6 meter right now. There's some activity from some USA, Europe stations, and some of my fellows in Dominican Republic doing FT8 on 6 meter. Quite opening this afternoon, or this morning, should I say. Well, first let me tell you that usually opens 2 instances of WSJTX using my Flex radio, but for today I'm gonna just use one of the instances. If you have more than one, just a matter of copying the configurations in each of the instances that you use for WSJTX. Okay, first we look for configurations, file settings, and this will open the configurations window. What we want to do is go to the reporting tab in the configurations, and here we're going to set up the multicasting IP address. Plainly explained, multicasting is an IP address that sends the data or the information to different receivers, different equipments receiving information from that IP address, which allows multiple programs to use that information being sent from that IP address. An IP address is any address that runs between the range of 239.000 to 239.255.255.255, and that's it. You're going to see it in the screen. For the purposes of this exercise, mine is set at 239.255.255.0. Let's assign port 2238. You can assign any port number you want, just keep in mind that we're going to use it later. So write it down or try to remember it. When we use multicast IP address, this will open two new drop-downs, outgoing interfaces and multicast TTL. Here you want to choose the one that says Ethernet. Whichever comes up with the word Ethernet there, you choose that one, and now you can leave one in the multicast TTL. Make sure you check on the accept UDP request, notify if unaccepted UDP request, and accepted UDP restore Windows. I use those three items checkup. Also, I use the secondary UDP server. I'm gonna check here to make sure it is active. Here you put another multicast IP. I use 239.0.0.250, but you can choose any multicast IP address from the range that is usually used, and you can see below where are. So that's all. Everything that you have to do in WSJTX. Remember, in settings, we go to the reporting tab. Use multicast IP address. Like I said, mine is set to 239.255.255.0. I assign the number 2238. And on the secondary UDP, we used the one showing in the window. And then we click OK. That will make everything we need to do with WSJTX. And now let's move to the next program. Okay, now moving to the second program, which is Gridtracker. Let me bring Gridtracker on. Here you can see the main window of Gridtracker. We look for the settings menu, which is the little wheel here. We open that. And first we want to see is a general tab. And here in this box, where it says receive UDP messages from WSJTX, we want to make sure that we have put in the same IP address that we used in WSJTX. Same IP address and set port number. So what you want to do is check multicast, so the program knows that you are using a multicast IP address. We copy here the same IP address that we use in main address of WSJTX. In this case, we used 239.255.255.0, and we put the port number that the Gridtracker is going to listen in, which we used 2238, and that is the whole configuration. So Gridtracker listen for the WSJTX decoding. And also we're going to move to the next column where we see forward UDP. This is important because this is the part where Gridtracker is going to broadcast the same information to another program also listening, or another Gridtracker in another computer, and so on, things like that. I use it to populate the QSO information in the Log4OM window. I'm going to show you later when we get to Log4OM. Here we put the same IP address of the computer that you want to send the information to. In my case, it is a local host, so I put 127.0.0.1, and I'm going to randomly assign port 2239. What this will do is send the packets that it decodes from WSJTX. It's going to send it to whatever host is listening in that IP address and in that port. Okay, and now we want to look at the login tab. Here is the tab where all the loggers that Gridtracker can interact with It could send your login information to a local file, to online logins like QRZ, Club Log, EQSL, etc., and so on and so on. But for this video, let's focus on Log4OM. You're gonna see here Log4OM. You gotta check it, make sure it's active, and here we put this IP address of the computer where Log4OM is. In my case, it is a local computer, so we're gonna use the local IP address. It is 127.0.0.1, and I'm assigning randomly the port 2236. This will send all the QSOs that I log in Gridtracker. It will send it to Log4OM as well. You can assign any port you want. Just make sure that it's not a port number that you are using for another program or another configuration. So, like you see, this is all what we need to do in Gridtracker. Remember, you look for the settings menu, which is this wheel here. Go to receive UDP, put the multicast IP address and the port number we used in WSJTX, making sure it is checked, enabled. Then we put an additional broadcast IP address and port that will send the same information. Gridtracker will send it to another program. Like I said, I'm going to show you right away why we want to do that. And in the login tab, we make sure that Log4OM is enabled with the IP address of the computer using Log4OM, and assign a port number. That's everything you need to know about Gridtracker to configure it for these purposes. Before moving to Log4OM, if you're liking this video so far, please hit the like button below and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of the videos by hamworldonline. So, to configure it, Log4OM, we go into the settings menu, program configuration. It is, let me move it to this window. Once we are in configurations window, we're going to look down to software integration connection. This is the tab that we need to look at. As you can see here, I already have my Log4OM configured, but I'm going to tell you everything about it. Please, the first thing we want to do is look for the port number we used in WSJT-X and Gridtracker, which was port 2238. Once we have that port number, remember it's 2238. It's the main port that we used in WSJT-X. If you're gonna see it here, it is 2238, and it was also the port number we used in Gridtracker, 2238. So we're gonna put that port here. We're gonna give it a name for that connection. I recommend that you use names that reminds you or tells you about what that connection does, so it is easier to remember. In my case, I put Gridtracker on to make sure that I remember that that port number is receiving information from Gridtracker. So you put Gridtracker or whatever names you wish to put, and then you go to the service type drop down, and you want to look for JT message. It is the type of data that it's received, so you make sure you put JT message as a service type, and just in your case click the plus button that will add that connection inbound here. I'm not gonna hit the plus button because I already have it created, but go ahead and click the plus and it will appear down here. Second, we're going to create another inbound connection in port 2239, which is the one that we used in Gridtracker to send additional information. Remember here, 2239. It is the port that Gridtracker we used to send the information from the QSO station to our Log4OM Windows. And here you put the name you wish. I use call info, just so I remind easily that this inbound connection will send me the QSO information of the station I'm working. And again, you select the JT message from the drop down. In your case, go ahead and click the plus button. This will add that inbound connection to the connections below. What this connection will do, let me see if I can show you right quickly. I'm going to exit the menu. What this connection will do is that, for example, if I'm working in station here, let's choose Hotel India 8 Delta Lima, which is a good friend of mine. Then WSJTX will send that information to Gridtracker, and Gridtracker will send that information to Log4OM, the QSO window. And let me see, let's also check, for example, Sierra My 6 UKL, which is also on 6 meter. Here you go. It will send the information to the QSO window of Log4OM, all the information from the station. So that's what we use for that port setting or that inbound connection. Let's come back to the configurations. And what we're going to do now is create a third connection, inbound connection, which will make to receive all the QSOs. So we put the port number that we used in login tab from Gridtracker. Remember, we used 2236. Let me bring it up so you can remember. Login tab. Here you go, 2236. That's the port number we assign for a QSO. We put that here. Again, give it a name, that whatever name you want. You can name it QSO info, you can name it just QSO, whatever you want. And this time, in the drop down, in the service type drop down, make sure you select ADIF message, ADIF, ADIF message, which is the type of message that the QSOs are saved on. So make sure in this case we use ADIF message. Once you have that, let me say QSO and ADIF message, you just click the plus button and that will add that connection for Log4OM. I'm going to clear that before I mess my configuration. If you did it correctly, you will see 3 inbound connections here. 2 JT messages connection, one from port 22238 and 2239 with decoding from WSJTX, and also the connection for the logging of the QSO in port 2236. Make sure we hit save and apply, because you just made some changes in that. So that's it. That's all the configurations we need to do in Log4OM so far to make all the programs work together. Now the last piece of the puzzle is JTAlert. Let's bring up again WSJT-X, which will bring up JTAlert as well. Now, let me start by saying that in the newest version of JTAlert, you don't need to configure anything if you're going to use multicast IP address. You just need to open JTAlert and it will automatically start listening to the multicast IP. So there's nothing to do for this setup. But one disclaimer needs to be made, or at least that's the way I do it. As I want to use Gridtracker to send my QSOs to Log4OM, it means that I'm not using JTAlert to send the QSO information. That means that I need to disable the login in JTAlert, which is quite simple. If you want to see to settings menu, manage settings, what I did was go to the login menu and I chose a standard ADIF file as my login from JTAlert. This means that JTAlert will receive the QSOs and will send them to an ADIF file in the computer. It won't send it to any of the loggers. You can see here that you can use JTAlert to send log information to DXLab and Radio Deluxe, Log4OM's previous version and version 2, and also to AZlog. But as I use Gridtracker for that purposes, I chose a standard ADIF. What I did was I went to Log4OM, made a copy of all my QSO information, exported them into an ADIF file, and I chose that ADIF file here. You're going to select, look for the folder where you have that backup of your log or that export of your log. In my case, I use Dropbox, so it is in the cloud. And you're going to choose that file. This will make that all QSOs are logged into a local file in JTAlert and not will send it to any other logger. The only downside of this configuration that I have is that every now and then, every couple of days, I need to update that ADIF file when I receive confirmations from Log of the World, something like that. So every now and then, every other day, 2 times a week, 3 times a week, depending on how active I am, I export an updated version of my QSOs from Log4OM after I update the Log of the World confirmations, and I select that file in Gridtracker. So that's the only downside of not using JTAlert for logging, is that you need to manually update the QSOs into that. But for me, it's working fine so far. And after we done that, actually this is all you need to do to have the 4 programs working together, namely Log4OM, WSJTX, Gridtracker and JTAlert. Like I said, it's not too difficult. It's just a couple of steps to follow through. So I hope this is working for you. You can leave your comments below if you have any issue. I will make my best to reply and assist with anything I'm able to. Also, leave your comments below if you want to see any particular video on any other feature from one of the programs, any one of the programs or another program that you want me to review. Well, that's it. That's everything we need to know and to do. And if you are interested in receiving the transcript of this video, just let me know in the comments below or in any other social media. You can find us by hamworldonline in most social media. Also, my address is good on QRZ. So if you want to see receive a copy of this transcript just let me know and I'll be more than happy to share it with you. And remember to subscribe to our channel. Click the bell below so you get notifications whenever every new video is up. And that's it. Until next time, the 73s from hamworldonline.